A far cry from the spy gadgets of James Bond or Mission Impossible, intelligence officers rely on mundane yet crucial instruments to recruit spies and steal secrets. From pocket knives and notebooks to flashlights and watches, analyzing a CIA case officer's tools provides key lessons in utility, minimalism, and tradecraft. In this video, we'll offer unique insights into an intelligence officer's everyday carry, or EDC. Watches of Espionage is curated by a former CIA case officer with a passion for timepieces. On the W.O.E YouTube channel, we explore the intersection of watches and the military, intelligence, and national security. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be informed when we release new videos. For CIA case officers living and working in dangerous locations, society can quickly break down into coups, political violence, terrorism, and armed conflict. Training for and experience in austere environments lead case officers to put significant thought into the items they carry. W.O.E served extensively as a case officer in Africa and in the Middle East during the global war on terror, developing his own approach to EDC over the years. Here, we'll discuss specific gear items as well as general practices for a considered approach to EDC that applies not only to case officers, but also to daily life in less extreme scenarios. As instructors at the Farm, CIA's Covert Training Center, tell trainees, your most important tool will always be the one between your ears. But if you find yourself in a tough spot and really need a pen, knife, or a crisp $100 bill, having it on your person sure helps. Spy thrillers often include a scene where the protagonist visits a safe deposit box, train station locker, or local fixer to secure their cash, which typically consists of alias passports, money, weapons, and spy gadgets. While entertaining, this is not the norm for CIA officers operating overseas, who typically avoid heavily surveilled areas like train stations and banks. Hollywood is also largely to blame for the myth of spy gadgets, leading many to believe that the average intelligence officer is equipped with a watch that shoots lasers, a briefcase concealing a submachine gun, and shoes with retractable blades for deadlier roundhouse kicks. While there are certain situations where case officers leverage specialized spy gear, the truth of a CIA officer's EDC is more mundane, but no less interesting. Clandestine intelligence operations are a carefully choreographed dance where accurate timekeeping can mean the difference between success and failure. The simple wristwatch remains a crucial tool for intelligence collection. Because of inherent counterintelligence risks, cell phones and smartwatches are unacceptable during human operations. It doesn't have to be a Rolex, but a reliable, cover-consistent timepiece that is not connected to the internet is essential. Many officers wear affordable Casios or Timex models, while others value the heritage and utility of mechanical watches from brands like Breitling, Seiko, and Omega. During his time at CIA, W.O.E most often wore an IWC Mark 17 or a Breitling Aerospace. A good case officer's watch must be functional, subtle, and versatile, something that works at a diplomatic function or in the African bush. The right choice is also cover-specific. A Rolex might suit a diplomat or an oil executive, while an F91W, G-Shock, or Seiko may be more appropriate elsewhere. CIA also has several unit watches, customized by major Swiss and British brands for specific offices in the building, but these would not be worn operationally when cover is an issue. One thing the movies get right is the utility of cash in espionage for asset payments, travel expenses, and meals. Paper money is untraceable and mitigates the digital trail left by credit cards and other electronic means of payment. Many case officers carry a minimum of $300 in cash at all times, in addition to spending money and cash for asset payments. The number is relatively arbitrary, but $300 in multiple denominations can get you out of many sticky situations, and a crisp Benjamin and a handshake can earn you a friend in a dark moment. In addition to the counterintelligence implications of using a credit card, in many of the locations where CIA officers deploy, credit card machines are simply not available or reliable. While many European countries prohibit pocket knives, a 3-inch, non-tactical folding blade can generally be explained away. In most of the developing world, a pocket knife is not abnormal and is carried by diplomats, NGO workers, or local businessmen. While situationally dependent, carrying a blade is not typically a tell. We admire and use knives from Emerson and half-face blades, but some appear overtly tactical and might not make sense for undercover operations. When W.O.E. was operational, he carried inexpensive folding blades from brands like Spyderco, typically concealed inside the waistband. If needed, the knife could be quickly thrown into a river or trash can without losing a week's salary. Case officers are trained on both pistols and long guns. Firearm proficiency is a requirement for austere posts, but despite what Hollywood will tell you, guns are not a critical tool of intelligence collection. No matter your cover, being pulled over by law enforcement or otherwise discovered with an unregistered pistol or rifle in your vehicle will result in immediate arrest in many countries, followed by a late-night call to the U.S. ambassador and potential expulsion from the country. Worse yet, this will likely identify you as a potential intelligence officer, making your job significantly more difficult if you manage to remain in country. While the types of firearms carried by CIA officers vary, all case officers certify regularly on Glock and M4 platforms, with indigenous weapons like the AK-47 sometimes procured locally. It's important to remember that case officers are not Tier 1 assaulters. If an intelligence officer finds themselves in a gunfight, something has gone seriously wrong. Other self-defense tools W.O.E. used during his career included an ASP concealable baton and pepper spray, both of which are significantly easier to purchase, transport, and conceal than firearms. Arguably, the most important tools for a CIA case officer are a pen and paper. While it ain't sexy, if you don't write it down, it didn't happen. Most COs use disposable pens like the legendary Pilot G2, a pocket calendar, and 3x5 cards. A pocket calendar can't be hacked. Why 3x5 cards? If you know, you know. A CO's work occurs at night in back alleys, parks, or hunkered down in an inconspicuous vehicle. A flashlight is an essential aspect of your kit that's inconspicuous yet effective for taking notes and navigating through wooded areas. If you're detained by local law enforcement, it's challenging to explain why you have night vision, but a flashlight in Africa or Latin America is not abnormal. W.O.E.'s primary flashlight was a Surefire Defender, which is equipped with a toothed bezel for striking and an impressive 600+ lumens that can temporarily blind an attacker. As a secondary option, he also carried a simple pen light attached to a keychain, which was often even more useful and less conspicuous. The vast majority of Americans or case officers will not blend in as locals in Africa, Asia, or the Middle East. Understanding that, intelligence officers work to avoid sticking out by playing the role of a typical Western tourist, which includes scrutinizing the watch on your wrist. Inside wristing a G-Shock with your American flag baseball hat, operator beard, and Oakleys will make you stick out in a way that will, at best, make your job more difficult, and at worst, endanger your life. Unless you're operating semi-overtly in a war zone, a more subtle and generic approach is generally the best practice. A light disguise and cover-supporting items were always within reach, either in a messenger bag or a non-American brand backpack. CIA officers deploying to a war zone receive a stipend to purchase clothing and gear. In contrast to the military, CIA officers generally do not want to look uniform, and they can decide on the gear that works for their environment. In the early years of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, many opted for a contractor chic aesthetic with 511 pants and a shamrock, but in later years, most COs wore civilian, non-tactical clothing. On W.O.E.'s last trip to a war zone, he wore blue jeans, t-shirts, and button-down shirts to conceal a Glock 19 carried in a Tennecore holster. Long guns were generally a mixture of AR-15 or M4 platforms from at least 3 different manufacturers. If necessary, he wore a Crye JPC 2.0 plate carrier without patches or other identifying materials. Optics, slings, and accessories were assignment dependent, whatever was available in that country. You go to war with the tools you have. After leaving the agency, W.O.E.'s EDC has changed to suit his new life as a prominent internet watch celebrity and thought leader. But old habits die hard. His watch choices are now dictated more by interests than utility. That said, the watch is generally matched to the activity and environment of the day. A Tudor Pelagos on a W.O.E. Glomar strap for more active pursuits with the potential to get wet, or a vintage piece like his Rolex GMT Master 2 Root Beer 16753 for casual social activities. With few exceptions, W.O.E. carries a Glock 43 and a spare magazine. If he's not carrying a pistol, he opts for a blade concealed inside the waistband, either the W.O.E. Birdwatcher by Prometheus Design Works or a Seif Jr. from Wolf 40 Designs. Other items W.O.E. typically has on his person or in a backpack include a notebook and a quality pen, a tourniquet, $300 in cash, and his trusty Surefire flashlight. In the end, a CIA case officer's everyday carry isn't about flash or fantasy, it's about quiet readiness. Each item, from the right knife to a reliable wristwatch, reflects years of hard-earned experience and a deep understanding that preparation beats improvisation when the stakes are high. It's not the gear that defines the professional, but the mindset, discipline, and intent behind it. Whether navigating the back alleys of a foreign capital or the challenges of everyday life, the principle remains the same. Be prepared, stay aware, and use your tools. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and hit the bell icon to be informed when we release new videos. For even more, check out our website, watchesofespionage.com, for more content, as well as our collection of watch straps and other purpose-built tools designed for our community. Until next time, happy hunting.